Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Please Wait screen. Welcome to Silverstone on cue. My name is Evil Dragon X. Now, joining me today on this sunny day here in Silverstone is one and only, it's Pepsi. Hello, Pepsi.
Hello indeed. It's very interesting to see a very sunny Britain, even though it usually is always overcast and gloomy. It always feels like Russia as well, where you never really see much sunshine. But here, it's a nice sunny day at Silverstone, and it's glad to be here with you, Evil.
Yes, here in Silverstone, one of the oldest circuits in the world. First hosted the first ever World Championship event in Formula 1 all the way back in 1950, of course. This circuit itself dates back to about 1948 on a slightly different variation to the one, of course, we all knew from the 50s all the way up till present day. Of course, this circuit's most recent undergo was in 2010 when it, of course, well, 2009 to 2010 to be fair, when it turned into this exact version of the circuit with this new pit lane. Fan favourite the old circuit may have been this circuit, however, Pepsi does certainly provide a lot more in-depth racing.
Yeah, it does indeed. Even though personally, I'm a big fan of it in real life, but in this game, it always seems to be a track where I'm always slow at, and I can never find any pace out of it. It's one of the three kryptonites of my, the bane of my existence in this game. That, Spa, and Singapore. But
Yes.
we'll see how they handle it here today, though. And I think since it's a home track for a bunch of drivers here, I think a lot of them are going to be going out there and trying to put out a good performance here.
16 drivers currently with us. A few of them, of course, 4 missing right now. There was an update earlier on, so I'm guessing maybe one or two of them may have either be arriving late or just unavailable. I will check the attendance thing as we go.
Yep, a few drivers have stated they cannot make it here today, including the AlphaTauri teammate, which is a Disco Stu. I believe it was Disco Stu. No, he's here. It was the other one then, sorry. One of them was not here, and a few others were not able to make it as well. But while you do that, we're about to have an opening lap here, and I think Malik's going to be the first driver to take a lap here. So I guess I'll take you around here, a lap around Silverstone here as he goes to the last couple corners here. I think Malik's a relatively fast driver, so we'll see if he can put down a good time here on a pole lap. So off the line they go here, down to not the start, finish straight, and now they're going to go in turn 1. This is a corner you can take pretty flat on softs. You're going to want to take an 8th gear, get as close as you can. King is actually retired from the pit lane, so he will not be putting down a pole lap here. Then breaking down to the thing, you want to brake just as the rumble strip breaks, right around the 50-meter board, get the turn in as much as you can, and then this is one of those corners where you want to take it as fast and slow as possible. A little bit too early in the power, and the car will kick out. Then you're going to go down this long straight here, get as close as you can in 6th gear, then you're going to have run down here. DRS is an opportunity here, and it's a place where a lot of drivers can take a pass here. Going to want to brake right around just past the 50-meter board, get in as close as you can, and get on the power and get on the exit possible. Then you're going to come into this little apex corner here, going to try to get as pinched as possible, get it down the 3rd, 2nd, then just quickly switch it up to 4th to get as much rotation. Then you're going to go in the old pit straight here, get as close as you can to the wall without cutting, and then you're going to come through the right, leading up to Maggots and Beckett's. You want to take as flat as possible in 8th. It's going to be hard to do that during the race, but during qualifying, a lot of drivers will take it flat. Then you got Maggots and Beckett's where you want to take it as flat as you possibly can for the first couple corners. Then the last one, brake as much as you can, get it down to maybe 6th gear, keep as much speed as possible, then get just barely on the grass, get the DRS, and then the long done now down to the hangar straight, and we're almost done. That was sector 2. We got one more sector to go here. You can see a little slow car coming up here. Last couple corners here. We want to get it right in the rumble strip, turn in as possible. Don't go too wide on exit or they will invalidate you. Past pit lane. Last couple corners here. Going to want to brake as possible. Again, keep as much speed as possible here. Get it in 2nd gear. Just going to rotate the car. Get on exit. Get it through 4th. Keep your foot flat, and that will be one lap around Silverstone, and that will be Malik with a 1:25.773.
Indeed, good lap time from the Racing Point. Now, in terms of the championship, Pepsi, of course, it is still the Williams leading this championship on 163 points ahead, of course, of the Alfa Romeo of TKM King, who, remember, does have a qualifying ban, we believe.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Last week. He is currently on 144. Further back in 3rd position, we've got the Alpha Tower of Disco Stew on 119 points.
I want to point out those are the constructor standings, not the driver standings.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, those are the constructor standings. So Williams is currently leading with 163 points. Then Alfa Romeo at 143 and AlphaTauri at 119 with Red Bull at 118. But with the driver standings, just quick, because I do have them pulled up right here. Charlie, the former driver, if he does decide to come back, still has a points lead with 92 points. But if presumably, depending on how well King does today, he could possibly jump Charlie, and he's at 77, with Lesty at 61, Scanny in the other Alfa Romeo at 58, and Kenobi at 53, and that will be your top 5. And speaking of drivers going to the top, Tech 31 Racing, which is the new name change for the other Red Bull driver, which was Alpha F1, is currently gone the fastest with a 1:24.6.
Yeah, Red Bull on top then from AlphaTauri. Then comes the Williams of Bavezia, who did so well on his debut last week. Remember, Pepsi finished second, if I remember, in that race. And he's got a good potential of getting some good points here today. Silverstone, we know how good these types of circuits are. We've seen in the past in other leagues as well. Some classic races. Remember, look, the weather, always a possibility. Rain around Silverstone is always very high around this place. Remember, very slippery. It's normally going to be around about a 2-stop strategy because the tyre wear on this circuit, in my experience, and Pepsi, you might be able to back me up, can be extremely high.
Yeah, it is indeed. It's something where you want to try to make a strategy work, but it just feels like with tire wear so high, you're going to have to take that extra pit stop where you're going to be driving on flat spotted tires, and you need to play it safe and conservatively. So if it does rain, there could be a possibility that maybe those ints aren't going to be strong by the end. And Leslie the Twig crossed the line with a 1:25.002.
Yeah, up to third then. So both the Red Bulls splitting the AlphaTauri then. So it's a Red Bull top 3, to be fair, of the 3 Red Bull sponsored vehicles currently in this race. Remember, Bavezia, good shout to him. He is on the medium tyres, Pepsi, and he set that lap time on the mediums, we believe, unless he's just going on one right now.
He did check. I did check the fitted tires, and when he set his best lap, that was on a set of mediums. So that is something worth noting, that he did set a good time on those mediums. Now he's coming in. The question is, now that he's P4, I think that time will fall, because Connor's at a 1:25.7. We know Mal can go a bit faster. We know there's some other fast drivers in this field. But will he decide to take a risk? Because I feel like he actually could make a set of mediums work, and it feels like, at least in certain tracks like Britain, the harder tire to the softer tire is a better strategy than soft to hard. So I feel like he should try to stick to that strategy, but if he starts getting swarmed by other drivers, he may have to try something different.
That's always a possibility. We'll see what happens as this race goes on, remember. And Pepsi, the more important thing to remember, though, last week, and it was a pretty big moment, as the Mercedes team scored their first points as their original team, as Elliot, remember, scored some points in the dying embers of that race.
Well, the thing is, I believe that was the case, but looking at the standings here, we remember seeing it, but maybe they got a penalty or something, because I'm looking at 11 and Xelic, and when they did the updated standings, they gave them 0 points for that and the constructors. So even though we saw them finish P10, they didn't give them points. Interesting.
Indeed, I'm not quite sure. No one's told us the reason why, so if someone can fill us in, because as far as we know, they should have points.
I know different leagues do different situations with point standings, so maybe it's a situation where they maybe are taking an older point standings, but as far as I can tell, they should have gotten points, because I don't think they do anything different, but I guess we'll be corrected, and maybe it makes us look a little amateurish that we didn't understand the point system, but we swear it was top 10, but I'll take a quick look as we ride on board some other cars here in qualifying.
Well, everyone's currently in the pit lane. Right now we've got, well, I think it's Scanny on circuit right now in the other Alfa Romeo, of course. The beautiful helmet right now of the pink and white on the beautiful red and white Alfa Romeo. The car, of course, is one of the most oldest manufacturers here in this grid, to be fair. And I think it was the 1920s this company was made. Of course, the only other team older than this is, of course, Mercedes-Benz, which dates back to the 1800s, because they're very old. Ferrari, of course, if you're wondering, came around at about the 1940s, 1950s, although, of course, they pretty much were Alfa Romeo back in the early days in the 20s. But right now, on board with Scania down to turn 1, this is Abby, new to fly left, of course, back in the old days, pre-2010. Led into this tricky little thing. This is the complex. About 4th gear, a little bit of lock-up on the front right. You flick it back into the left. This is the loop down towards Aintree Corner. Of course, this Aintree Corner, very easy, of course, to get the rear end stepping up. Kimi Räikkönen had a monumental accident down here in 2014, right there under the bridge. On the left, you'll be able to see right now is the old circuit rejoining. There, as you can see, the inside of the corner into Brooklands and Luffield then. Nice and smooth through the exit there. A little bit of a lock-up on the front right again, but absolutely a bit of wayward on the exit down into Woodcote Corner. This, of course, the old start-finish straight, as Pepsi mentioned earlier on. Completely flat out. You don't imagine the left will be here in this trim. Maybe even the race trim, it might be flat. these cars, though, especially on these high fuel runs and on the low fuel runs, can be very sketchy through this corner, as you can see. Throws it in pretty well here. The Scania gets the front end turned in like an absolute treat. Takes a nice shallow line. It's purple sector too, so this could be very interesting. Right now, down to the last couple of corners. Needs to take it nice and carefully through Stoke, and does do that right. A little bit wide on the exit, but as Ellie's retired from the session in the pit lane, down into Club Corner. Nice through there, and then of course into the Vale, the final corner of this circuit. This could be pole position, and it's only 10th.
Yep, that doesn't... It looked like they had a purple sector too, so I guess maybe lost some time in the third sector. But while you were doing that little lap on Scania there, I was taking a quick look at the driver results, and I think with Pedley's being removed from some of the drivers, it did bump Exelic outside the top 10, or Zelly, so that's why she did not get a point in the standing. So it was a steward's decision that removed the Pedley and bumped the driver outside the top 10. So Mercedes is still looking for their first point. Now, a bunch of drivers are still on their out laps here. It looks like we do have the... Red Bull, looks like one of the Red Bulls has looped it. Leslie has lost it going into the last corner of the complex. Smitty has gone up to P5 on the grid with a 125.5. Leslie's going to have to abort his lap because of that little mistake. And it looks like with 7 minutes to go, knowing that's about a minute 25 around here to take a lap, it's safe to assume you can get 2 laps with about 3 minutes to go. So I think they're going to try 1 or 2 laps here, pull it in, and I don't feel like a lot of drivers are going to come back out till about 4-ish minutes left in the clock.
Yeah, you're always going to be the last driver out on this circuit. Which does bring to the good point, though, Pepsi, also about the strategy in this race. I've already said it's a 2-stop, but with the chance of a safety car around here being, I'd say, reasonably high, because it's
Tech just improved.
Isn't it?
Don't want to cut you off, but Tech did just improve, so that is improving the pole lap. And I wonder if anyone can catch him, because he's still 3/10 up. But we do, again, have some fast drivers here, so I think that is possible to come down. Now, continuing on, sorry.
Yeah, but back to where I was, like, in terms of strategy. Really, right now, the one driver who is kind of in a good position, Bavezia, if he can remain in 4th position, which, to be fair, he has got a couple of attempts to around about 6th position. He's on the cusp with Smith in 5th right now, so those two could go either way over a couple of attempts, well, a couple of thousands, to be fair. But Bavezia, if we get an early safety car, is going to be right up the front. Especially Dima as well. He seems to be on the mediums. I think he's still on the mediums unless he switched to the softs. He switched to the softs.
Yeah, he switched to the softs.
So never mind.
But the thing is worth noting is
he's going for it.
I remember a league I did, I think just last week. It was for the on the same channel. It was a EML, and they I remember a couple drivers. They started on the mediums in the back, and due to some commotion on the early laps, they were able to make those mediums work pretty well. Carved their way up to 5th, and was looking for a good top 5 finish until just a couple battles late cost them. But the mediums can work dividends around here if you can make it work. So if I'm Bivester, I may just stay on those mediums if my time is not going to fall. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of drivers. If you look at the rest of the grid, Smitty, Connor, Malik, and Beat by Vegan and Maddie are all very close. You could fit a crowbar between them and barely have enough room to put someone else. So they're very close between 6th and 11th. So if they start jumping and start improving, he could find his way from 5th all the way outside the top 10.
Well, he was 4th just a few seconds ago, but that was Demo in the McLaren, demoting him down to 5th position. Nice lap there from the McLaren driver. Of course, not having the best of luck this season is the McLaren team. They've had some ups and downs. They've had some mistakes. Last week in Austria, perhaps you remember, they had all kinds of issues, didn't they?
Connor was having a bit of a bad race there. He was just having problems with the corners, but Demo almost made the strategy work at the end. He was in a situation with no pedally. He's looking at easily a top 3, but sadly, again, due to just getting a late time pedaling and getting kind of swarmed by the field, he ended up falling, I think, to 6th or 7th. So it's a situation where they were easily looking for some good points there, and sadly just kind of lost out at the end. But again, that's the race strategy you take in racing. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, McLaren currently P6 in the championship.
Looking at the results, I'm right. Demo actually did get credit for the podium. So with time pedals removed, he actually did get a podium last week. So
never mind.
Demo did get credit after race results for the podium. So you do got to pay attention to the steward's decisions, because sometimes this game does throw out wonky pedalies and will remove something and you'll end up gaining. So yeah. Got to pay attention to these Discord chats, and there's little side things. Now, everyone's in pit lane here with 3 minutes to go, except for Maddie. Maddie is currently on a flyer, but he's 1.5 down, according to the grid. Actually, sorry, Kenobi's also out, so it looks like all these drivers are going to be going within the next 30 minutes to a second. Sorry, 30 seconds to a minute.
30 minutes to a second, yep, exactly.
Yep.
Right now, Pepsi. Well, I'll tell you what, though, Kenobi, he's on a lap right now in the Williams. Williams, of course, looking to retain their lead in the championship. of course, like I was going to say earlier on, but I mistake.
Oh, Kenobi hasn't validated through Maggot's Beck.
Yeah.
Now, he's on an outlap, so it doesn't matter. But it is worth noting, I think a lot of drivers are going to get kind of rung up for cutting through Maggot's Beckett. So I feel like, even though this isn't a track like Canada, where I feel like everyone's going to get time penalty by the end of it, or Spain, this is one of those tracks where, if you're not careful, they'll start sneaking up on you, and you'll have 3 or 6 just by a few mistakes. So I do feel like
63 points, Pepsi. Williams are on right now, top of the standings.
But
meanwhile, talking of teams, apart from Mercedes, sorry, I'm cutting you off too much right now.
No, you're
Ferrari
fine.
down there as well. They're only on 9 points. They are really hoping for some luck here. I mean, Silverstone can surprise you with its results. We've seen it before, but they are really going to need to go out there and just try and get some more points because, I mean, you got to think right now. There's an opportunity. We've only got 16 drivers. There's always a more higher chance, isn't there?
Well, Beat by Vegan's been a fast driver. He was pretty fast at Austria last week, just had some bad form. He's really a alright paced driver, can usually compete in the back end of the points, but usually just has some mistakes or makes a mistake and it costs him dearly. As for Hayter is, I think, stated he's new to these games and thus trying to find the pace in this game and trying to find his footing. So it's just something that time and practice will come. And I think Hayter, by the end of the season, will put together some good results, but right now it's just him trying to get used to the mechanics of this game, and that's, we'll wish him all the best in his run to the front, hopefully. As Kenobi's going to be coming through Sector 2 here. The Williams driver's in 13, clips the grass there. We'll see where he is at the end of Sector. He's actually down on his time, so it doesn't look like he'll improve, but I guess that may not be a bad thing, because Kenobi's one of those drivers that benefits on strategy choices, so maybe starting outside the top 10 may not be a bad thing if he can put on a set of mediums.
Yeah,
and actually, he's actually calling a lap here, so I don't. Yeah, he's done for qualifying, because he will not improve, and he will not have enough time to go back out.
So that is his qualifying done. 13th position. Couldn't really afford to go on another set of tyres and wouldn't be able to do another lap either on those tyres. John Hayter's in the pit lane, so he's bailed out on his lap. Scani on a lap. He's going to hope to get up near the front, of course. Beat by Vegan in 9th position. We've got a lot of drivers on outlaps right now, as we say. Talking about on a lap, blow, it is Tech 31. He is up by just under half a tenth in the first sector. Let's see what it's going to be coming out down towards Brooklands and Luffield. Nice move through there, of course. Built the speed up, about 190 over miles an hour. Missed 200, they're hailing it down to this corner. And he is down by 80,000, so a bit of a bad exit. But he's on the cusp of an improving right now, Pep, so this could be very interesting indeed. He is around about 3 tenths quicker than Disco Stew, so Tech 31, of course, or Alpha as he used to be known, is on a flyer this season right now, especially in this race. The Red Bulls starting to come alive this season as well.
Yep, they're only P, I think, 5 in the standings. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually. My mistake. They're P4, and they're only a point behind AlphaTauri. So, again, if they can do a good performance here today with only one Alpha out on the grid, they could easily climb up through the grid here, and I think that's something what Alpha and Lesty want. Tech is currently up on his time. Just barely, but up. Now, I do want to point something out, is it looks like all those drivers that did get out on a lap there did get relatively spaced out, though. So it looks like they won't hinder themselves too much, but we do have a slow car up ahead. I don't think it will affect Tech, so we'll see what happens here. That is the Williams of Bethesda, so I don't think he'll have enough time to start a lap here. So he's not, he's going to cut it too short, so he'll be starting on a set of mediums no matter where he finishes on the grid. And Tech is not able to improve, so we'll cut through the rest of the field here. We got Smith, who's unvalidated, so he will not improve. He's stuck in P7, much to the delight of Bethesda. Next up is the McLaren. I think that is Demo. Demo is down on his time right now, so we'll take a look through the last couple sectors, see if he can find some time. I think he may be slowing up just a bit. Yep, he is bailed. You are correct. Next up, Leslie the Twig on the track. He is actually up on his time, so he may have a chance to improve and maybe make a 1-2 lockout for the Red Bulls. But Disco Stew is right behind him, but he hasn't validated, so no improvement from Disco Stew. So Leslie the Twig, we'll have to see what he does for the third sector here.
Yeah, it's always looking interesting. I'm looking at Beat by Vegan. He's off the road as well. That's his lap done for the Ferrari. Bavezia on a lap. He's on a set of soft tyres, though. Right now, this could be interesting to see. So he's decided to go for the soft.
But Bezier has actually not made it to the line in time. I just want to point out. So yeah, his lap is done, and Bessie was not able to improve. Lost too much time in the third sector. So his Ray is done. He'll be starting P3. Next up, you got the other Haas driver, Maddie, who is actually invalidated. So never mind. He's done. And I think that's everything. The Scani is also invalidated. So unless Malik's got a time, but
he's got a front wing on.
Yep, he's got a front wing. So I think that is everyone. If I'm not mistaken, everyone else has either invalidated or not made it out, which means that our pole sitter will be Alpha F1, aka Tech 31 Racing, and Red Bull will have Red Bull and their sister team will have a 1-2-3 on the grid.
Yeah, indeed. I imagine they'd be happy if they got that in real life recently. Of course, the last time a Toro Rosso or AlphaTauri won with a Red Bull on the podium was never, actually. It's always been one or the other that's won, as Malik retires from the session, but Leslie Latrick in third position. Disco Stew in second, but of course it is the other Red Bull of Tech 31, formerly known as Alpha, as well. On the top set of the podium.
Much to the chagrin of a bunch of the English drivers here, a Scottish driver is currently leading the way. So this is a home race for the British, and the Scottish man just came in, Braveheart of the field. So Tech Racing first, Disco Stu second, Leslie Twig third, Demo fourth, and beat by Vegan with a top 5. But I think Bezzers may have the smart strategy here by being the only one on mediums inside the top 10. So he may be one to watch out for.
Most certainly indeed.
Something else I do want to point out is King, remember, because he had to have his quality ban. He'll be starting P16, but remember, he is a very fast driver, and he's going to try to carve his way up through the field, so he may be also someone else to watch as well. If he can keep his nose clean and carve his way up through the field kind of quickly, he may be someone that could challenge for at least a podium or even a win if things roll his way. But it's a nice sunny day here in Silverstone, so unless the gods decide to have a random rain shower appear by the end of this or the clouds come late, it's going to be a nice sunny day, so no rain here again. So I don't think we've had a rain race here in the CWC at all, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty certain that is correct, Pepsi. I can't remember the top of my head, but let's see what happens in this race. Long haul race, I think it's about 28 laps, if I'm not mistaken, and I very much certainly could be mistaken.
I think it's 28. It's either 28, I want to say 28 or 36. It's one of the two, but because I just did a league last week. I should probably remember the number offhand, but I think it's 28. I think I agree with you on that one. I think it is 28. We'll see in 2 seconds here. And as they wait for everyone to load onto the grid, it's going to be... Come on, Price is Right. 26. Oh, we were both over.
Well, I was closest by 2. You were 10 off.
We were both over, so we both would have lost in Price is Right rolls. But, So anyway, though, as they lead off here, we'll take a quick look at the tires, because tires do matter. Actually, everyone is starting on a set of softs outside the top 10 except for Bezer. So I think Bezer may have made off like a bandit here, because I just think the hards are going to be a lot stronger on here than the softs long term. So I think Bezer is definitely one to watch.
Well, what Bevezia needs, of course, remember, is not to lose a front wing on the first lap. We know how easy it is, as John Hayes has been disqualified as well as
Same thing Zellick, so it looks like they both hit each other on the grid here. Not going to cause too much of an issue other than just pride. Yep, they'll be sitting on the naughty stool, waiting for everyone else to drive around and have their fun. Some of the kids are out at recess right now, and they have to sit inside.
Well, the Pepsi, I think you've got something to plug as well.
Oh, yeah, true. We do have to plug some things here because it keeps the lights on. That if you like what you see, why not like and subscribe to League Racing TV? You can also follow them on Twitter at League Racing TV, where you can get a full schedule of events. So they race Monday through Fridays with multiple different leagues, from TTML to EML to CWC, which you're currently watching. So why not check the league you like, and who knows, they may have openings where you could become a reserve driver and eventually work your way up through the grid if you have the pace. But regardless of that, just like and subscribe, comment, tell us who you think's going to win, and all the other jazz as well. So anyway, that's a quick plug done. I think I'm getting better and worse at the same time, so eventually, maybe by the end of the season, I'll make one coherent plug without rambling off into side tangents.
Well, let's see. Oh, McLaren on the grass there, down the straight. Ooh. Well, what on earth just nearly happened there was Demo, I think, warming up his tyres, went a little bit too warming up, and he's ended up, well, doing some grass cutting in the McLaren, which...
Oh, it looks like... Okay, I thought the Red Bulls may have hit each other, but it is just the formation lap coming the ghost. But I should ask before they lined up, who do you think's going to win this race?
Well, you can never say never right now, as the Red Bulls make an AlphaTauri on the grid. They're inside each other. The AlphaTauri is just sitting going, what is going on? But nonetheless, let's not get away with my weird F1 fantasies with F1 cars. I think we could have a good race here. Tech, he's got a good chance, but do not count out Bevezia, who will probably retire on that one.
Bezier, I feel like, he's got the confidence to win, but I'm actually going to go Demo. I think Demo's scrapping for something here. I think he's got a good chance here, so I'll put my 1 yen on Demo. Let's wait for the 5 red lights here, and I'll let you do the honor since it's a home race for you.
Well, let's get ready to go then. The Rumble's here in Silverstone. But when it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've gone off already. We didn't even get the lights on my screen. But we're underway here in Silverstone. Good start from the Red Bull. Good start from the AlphaTauri. Who leads? Who leads into turn number 1?
Oh, one clearance well.
That's a big accident.
I think that was Connor. No, it was Demo. You were correct.
Away.
VSC.
Safety car, already deployed. That was a humongous accident.
Broken wing.
And Kenobi off as well.
I see some white wing in the back there. Someone hit the wall hard. Demo luckily is okay, even though it looked like that was a hellacious lick. It looked like it was going to be. But the Williams has broken his wing. The McLaren has broken his wing. We'll have to take a look at how many people have damage here. McLaren's missing the wing of Zelly. Yep, Scandi I think's missing some wing particles.
More front wing damage.
Yep, a lot of drivers are not that. We have a bunch of collisions already.
Beat by Vegan as well. And we got all kinds of carnage going on here. Both of the Alfa Romeos have got all kinds of carnage
beat by
here
Vegan
in the
gets run out
backfield.
the back. Big loser here right now is beat by Vegan and Demo. Both drivers start off pretty well, but Viezer already up to P3, so he's smiling like the cat that ate the canary. Yellow flag in Sector 2.
Down the back.
Demo
and Ellie gone round.
Yep, Zelly having problems with that front wing. So we'll cut away through the field here. We got Bezer on the back of Lesty for P3 here. And we also got a possible move for 11th, so we'll take an eye here in accordance.
Oh! Big
Someone
accident
in the back.
Nearly. Now there is a big accident. There's Haters around.
Hater
and made
around.
contact with Malek there as well. And they all just came together very suddenly. I'm surprised that might just be a safety car if he's in a bad position. I think he's got away with it.
I think he's got it refired. Yeah, he's got it refired, so I don't think there'll be a safety car. And
no damage either.
Yeah, both Ferraris, though, have had a very bad start. You can look in the back here. The Haas, the McLaren, Demo, beat by Vegan, Zelly, Hater, Maddie. They're all going to have to pit to fix wing damage. So a lot of drivers are going to go down the grid here and pit, including Malik, which means they're not going to be able to make it on a set of hards. So they're going to have to pit again, so this is going to really shoot them in the foot.
Again,
and some of them
this season.
And some of them,
issues, isn't there?
Yep, and some of them are going to have to serve penalties as well for collisions under safety cars, so they'll be even there for even longer. So a lot of those drivers are going to need a mulligan and a safety car to get back in this race. And DRS has now been enabled. That's not true, because we're only on lap 2, so I don't understand how they keep having updates in this game, and yet they don't fix some of these glaring issues. It feels like something that should be on the list of fixing.
And as John Haders leads this field now, my screen, as Demo is second, so they said they patched it. They haven't.
They haven't. They've done a good job. Tech Racing currently leads the way with Disco Stu in second, Lesty in third, Bezier in fourth, I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, so everyone, excluding Demo and Tao John Hay, the rest of the standings, I think, are correct. Yep, they have now reshuffled. King already up to P8 by starting last on the grid. So that's
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, and now he's going to try to pass Smitty, going to Maggots. Beckett's here. Think better of it. Connor a little bit slow up the grid here. Maybe try something here. Connor kind of putting a little bit, I wouldn't say a block, but just kind of being a little bit too slow in front of Maddie. And that's going to allow...
both of them.
Yep, King's going to get a 2-piece here. Connor, though, going to try to block off the Alpha here. They're going to go 3 wide. This is never going to work. Side by side, Lesty gets a time penalty. That is not going to help the Red Bull. And here we go, side by side, and it's going to be King getting the 2-piece, and he will take the position.
Now, incredible positioning then from TKM King, puts it where the sun needs to shine. And boy oh boy did it work right there as he sets the fastest lap of this race. He is a man on a mission right now, and well, we'll see what happens. Further down the field, by the way, you got Smith, Connor 11 in the point yet again. Right now, as she has been capitalising on others' mistakes, could be a result here today, who knows. Scandi down in 9th. Kenobi in the pits for a new nose, I believe, as well.
Yep. I think Kenobi did have damage lap 1, too, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe I'll have to quickly just check the stings here. FSC. No, he has not pitted yet, so no. If he has get damage, this is his first stop on the race. But most of those drivers did go for a set of mediums and hards. So, again, I don't think... Yeah, they're not going to make it to the end, so they're going to have to pit again. So why not just go for another set of softs, possibly, and try to gain some time, but... Different strokes for different folks. But yeah, Tech has pulled about a half-a-second lead on Disco. Disco's holding through, and Lesty already got a 3-second time penalty along with Disco Stu. So Tech Racing is doing well right now, because Disco Stu has 5 for a collision, and Lesty has 3 for cutting.
Most certainly, indeed, as I get a little hiccup right there. Meanwhile, got to stay further back. It looks like the Mercedes starting to close up to McLaren ever so slightly. Connor versus 11, and... Well, we saw last week a Mercedes and a McLaren having a titanic duel in Austria. Could we be in one for day as 11 immediately gets a penalty on cue?
That is true. You want to keep those to a minimum if you want to keep your spots. Only 3 right now, but we're only on lap 4, so at that pace, they will get multiple before the end of this race. But I think they will have at least a chance on Connor. Connor may have to get the giddy up going. But Exeli does not have yellow flag sector 2. Malik is around. That's a VSC. I'm trying to find him on track. Yeah, he's crashed. If you look on the screen here, he's lost going into the last corner. And look, he's off into the right there.
Turn 1.
Yep, old turn 1. So that's where he's lost it, and he's lost his wing. So it looks like he was trying to go as fast as possible on that sweeping right, and the back end kicked out, and that was race over for him. So Racing Point will get no points, and that will definitely hurt him in Constructors with Reds not being here today.
Right, you could say racing for points, but the only thing that didn't happen is a drive-through penalty for Disco's 2 and Lesty the Trig.
Oh, did Disco get one too? I only saw Lesty on my screen. Let me just quickly...
both drive-throughs.
Yep, they do. Correct. So both of them that is really going to help Tech Racing because those are the only two close to him. And Lesty gets another 3-second for his troubles. So he's got 6 on a drive-through. So, ouch. Just ouch.
Well, that's really going to put a spanner in the works, to be fair, because they're going to have to stop. They now need a safety car right now.
I think
not right now, but soon.
Yep, anyone 10th in behind in the grid right now needs a safety car because they're pretty far behind the 8 ball. Because Haters 19 seconds behind Scanny, and everyone else 10th and down has pitted, so they're going to need something. But this is what right now...
Up the inside of Connor. Let's see if she can do it then. Try and sliver right up the inside. Now what he wants to do here, keep him tight or dive to the inside. Thinks better of it. Realises that Connor's saying no passing. And backs that one off completely. Looking feisty though as the Mercedes drivers right now. They definitely seem to got a bit more of an edge in the last few races. Especially looking a lot more confident as they of course will be doing so. Let's see if they can do it though. 11, hunting down Connor.
Possibly.
Connor defending very well, though.
Yep, he is defending quite well indeed. But the thing is worth noting right now is that every driver, again, you don't like to look at point watching this early. It's only lap 5. Anything can happen. But if by some miracle a safety car doesn't happen, here comes 11, going to try to sneak it on the inside. Looks like they both have no ERS, so it's going to be a close one. And it's 11 going to just get clear, but Connor have a switchback maneuver here. Going to try to hang it around the outside. Usually not ideal for this corner because how it turns, and 11's going to hold it, but 11's going to go just wide. Connor's almost going to touch the kitty litter, so Connor has to back down, and 11's going to hold the spot. So 11's going to get the job done, and it's going to be up to P7.
Yeah, well, back to what you were just about to say before. That's Disco Stew, a 3-second tyre penalty as well. And these two are really getting themselves in the kittle litter in terms of penalties, aren't they, right now?
Bezer actually caught the back of Lesty, and so is King is kind of slowly reeled in Bezer with a purple sector too. So both drivers are slowly ringing them in. Now Lesty and Disco Stew will have to repeat this lap or next lap for their drive-thrus. Lesty, well, either this lap or next lap, as Lesty's coming in this lap, so Disco Stew will be coming in next lap. So Bezer will jump out to P3, and King will go to P4. So again, King, who started P16 on the grid, is already up to 4th. And with these unexpected stops, he could easily put himself in a good spot as he assists at the fast lap of the race.
Yeah, as yellow
Zelly
flags
has retired from the session in pit lane, so that will be down to 14 runners on the grid.
Yeah, I was wondering what I'd say. Well, that was an engine failure for Scania, I almost thought then, because it suddenly became yellow just on cue, and my brain's used to having an engine failure when you get a yellow flag randomly right there. Talking of Scanny, he is closing right up on Connor around 11 right now, so could be very interesting on the battle for 8th, 7th, 6th position. Lesty the Triglo is going to need a miracle right now, because he's going to have to stop again. So the only thing he needs right now is a safety car. Look at the field though, Pepsi, all spread out. We've got a battle going on between Demo Vegan and Matty down the back of the pack right now.
And we also have a battle for 7th as well, as Connor's been caught by Scanny. So Connor and Scanny are fighting. Still yellow flag sector 1, because I noticed this glitch last week too in the league. For some reason, when a car retires in the pit lane, it sends their car back on the track, because you'll see Exelic, then they're going to drive into turn 1, and then they're just going to pull off the road here. So that's why when someone does run in the pit lane, you'll see them kind of spit out. So just don't be alarmed when a car pulls off. That's just for some reason the game doesn't retire the car in the pit lane like it should. Now Disco Stew will be coming in to serve his drive-through, which will bump Vesler, King, and Smitty all up on the grid.
Look at Scanny right now trying to go around the outside into Cop's corner. Almost went in the gravel. Has he gone around the outside? I think he has, you know. Jolly O, good pass there, Sunshine. And he's through up there in a 7th.
Now setting aside sets on 11, who is in 6th right now. So we're going to cut through the field there. Disco Stew. Yep, Scanny is a man on a mission. And because, again, remember, this is one of the worst times to get a drive through at this track, because the pit lane is so long and so slow that they're just going to both fall back here. I think Lesty may actually jump Disco Stew.
I don't think so.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Never mind. I was going to say he got the undercut on the drive-through, but sadly that was not the case. That would have been kind of interesting. But something that's worth noting, I think the undercut is really strong around here. So when pit window does open, which for the soft runners should be sooner rather than later, they should be pitting around this lap, next lap. Their window should be opening relatively quickly. So it is worth noting that I think they're going to be pitting soon, and then probably going to go for a set of... Well, I think that's where a difference will happen. They may try a 2-stop, or they may try a 1-stop. Because the hards could probably make it the rest of the distance.
I'll easily make it.
Yeah, the mediums are a question mark. So how long do you want to push on those tires?
Well, I remember Vezzy, it was about lap 15. It was the pit window as TTGaming is going to swamp the Williams. It's like taking candy from a baby down into turn number 13, I think that is.
Give or take.
Stoke corner.
Yep, give or take, as King will now take the position away from Bezer, now setting the signs on Tech Racing, who's 4 seconds up the road. Now, we know King is, again, a very fast driver, so I think he could easily cut into that gap, but, again, long race, so I think with pace alone, he could easily get there, because if we take a look at their fastest laps of the race, he's only about 3 tenths quicker, though, so it's not as much of a gap as possible, but with consistency, it may be worth noting.
Meanwhile, further down the field, Demo's still ahead of Beat by Vegan and Maddie, those 3 drivers. Still together, all on 3 different compounds, remember, right now, which is very interesting to see. It's the hard tyres for the McLaren. He's going to the end of this race, or trying to hope for, at least. Be by Vegan's not. He's going to go for another stint. And Maddie most likely going to go for another stint as well to the soft tyres. So those 3 in their own little bubble down the back.
Yep.
Up front, though, it is Tech 31 from TTGaming, Bavezia Smith, 11 in 3rd. Pulling away a little bit right now from Scanny and Connor, of course, in 6th and 7th, and Disco's 2 and Leslie Latrig pretty much out of this unless we get a safety car.
Yep, again, anything is possible in this game, so I generally would not be shocked to see something happen. So we'll see here as they go through these respective corners here on Retrospect. Again, I feel like I have a point here. Bezer is slowly catching back to King here, so he's not falling off too hard. And remember, the battle between the mediums and softs, Bezer may be stronger on the second half of this run. But
Most
other than
certainly,
yep, as we chat, I'm just kind of cutting through the field here. I'm just kind of looking through. We got that's probably our closest battle, other than for the wooden spoon between 12th, 13th, and 14th, or the DRS train. So I guess we'll ride on board with the 12th, 13th, and 14th right now, because we'll let the I wouldn't say back markers. There's some fast drivers here, but the drivers currently running the back. See how they get along here.
Certainly, you've got to say, though, a little bit of a moment there as Scanny goes wide through the last corner, and this is allowing the McLaren to come through, and they almost touched down into Rabby there. So, Scanny, a small mistake right there, a rear end stepping out like an absolute donkey on the back of that Alfa Romeo. As now the McLaren loses the rear end as well. They're all losing the rear end all of a sudden right now, Pepsi. What's going on?
It's just a very easy track to lose the back end, and at certain corners, it just feels like when you think you got the power down and you feel comfortable with the power, next thing you know, the car just kicks out, and you're wondering why. So it's something where you just got to be good at throttle management, and sometimes you just try to find that extra power when you're pushing. Like Scanny was trying to get ahead of Connor. I'm sorry, Scanny was trying to get to 11, and was just trying to find as much time as possible, and sadly lost out just for too much. Now we got a battle here for 13th, beat by Vegan, not that far off behind Maddie, so I wouldn't be shocked if he has a run here in turn 1, because he is on the faster tire on the set of softs.
Yeah, the one-stop strategy now to medium tyres, so this is the pit window for all those softs. As, let's see, is Maddie beat by Vegan going to have a little dive into turn 2, thinks better of it. Try and get the slipstream, the DRS, and the Ritz mode, and the ERS, and he might be able to get close enough to try and blast past him, but of course, Maddie using all of that as well to his advantage, and he has a bit more as well.
Oops, Scanny has just made a pass on Connor. I was trying to look for the grid here, and yep, Scanny has made the pass on Connor, so Scanny's got the spot right back on Connor, and Scanny back up to 6th, now setting their sights on 11 again for 5th.
Yeah, these two having a little bit of a swap-a-roo-roo right now. Down there they're going, name you first. Well, fine, I'll go first, says Scanny, and bang, bob, past he goes. And let's see where he can go to right now. Next target, 11 in 5th position. By the way, an incredible job.
Something worth noting right now is King has not made that much inroads on Tech 31, and actually, I'd probably argue he's actually lost some time, because he was about 4 seconds when he made the pass to Professor, and now he's hanging around 4 to 4.1. So Tech is holding his consistency here. So it is worth noting that he's not getting reeled in as quickly as you would think. Or, well, even, that sounds insulting to Tech, so what I'm trying to say is that you think King would make a little bit better inroads because he is kind of a fast driver, but Tech is holding his own. Trying to keep
you've
it
got to save right now, Pepsi, is who is in the opportune window right now. Bavezia sticking with TTGaming. Remember, when these guys all pit, unless, of course, regarding late safety cars, theoretically, Bavezia should be a lot closer.
So Tech is coming in, and remember, Bezier will have the set of soft tires. I think King will not follow suit, and Bezier will stay out. So Tech going for the undercut, which I think is kind of smart around here. You think King would have tried that being 4 down, but I think he feels confident in his tires right now. We'll see if anyone else pulls in. Smitty in 4th is pulling in as well. 11 is going to stay out. Scanny, will they try the undercut here? Smith actually just sped in the pit lane, so mistakes for them. They were currently running a nice race here. Now they're going to have 5 seconds added to their name. Next to the greatest. Well, actually, we'll take a look at what Tech went on. Tech went on a set of mediums, so he feels confident he can make it to the end. I would not be shocked if the Haas driver as well pulls on a set of mediums here. I think Lesty may be also setting up for a pit stop as well. Yep, mediums as well. Nope, Lesty's staying out. So everyone else is staying out for at least another lap.
Hello, where Tech's come out, by the way. Ironically, it's behind Disco Stew. Now, this could be interesting. Right now, these two, of course. One had a penalty earlier on, was running right in this battle. And then, of course, plonked it down to the back. And now Disco Stew is right with him again. That just really shows you that
he's going for it.
That whole pit stop going up the inside. And imagine the
forces it.
Put up kind
of forced it a little bit there. Just not want to make sure get the elbows up because he can't lose time. Because the longer he sits behind Disco Stew, the more time it'll cost him. Disco may not be happy. He kind of got barged there, but that's how the game crumbles. You could say.
That was harsh but fair in my eyes. It's a little bit of a day learning dollar short, but in the end, they both didn't really make much contact. They both got on with their races. 11.3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well in terms of penalties. Looking at 6 seconds for 11 right now.
Looking up right now, Disco Stew has 8, but I think 5 for collisions. Some of them can serve those penalties in the pit lane when they decide to pit, so that time will come down. I know Disco Stew will probably fall down to 3. And I think she'll fall down to 3. Smitty will, if he pits again, which he won't fall down to 5. And some of them will be able to take them down. King is going on a set of mediums. Scanny staying on another lap because his teammate's in the pit lane. 11 coming in as well. Connor staying out.
Stu and Lesty also in the pit lane as we speak. Right now, though, it is kind of this top 8, top 9, really. And then a big old gap down to the rest of the field, isn't there, right now?
Yep, again, because of those early lap commotions, it kind of put a big monkey wrench in the field, and without a safety car, they couldn't get bunched back up because a lot of them had a pit, and with a long pit straight and not being near a pit window, no real time could be gained. So Smith will jump back up to P6. He'll jump Smitty 11, Disco Stew. Disco Stew just barely holding on to the points right now. And if we take a look at who has pitted and who has not, Kenobi will have to pit again. Anyone 10th down will have to pit again, even though they said they stopped once because they will not make it to the end. Other than that...
Hello, Alpha.
Oh, yep, Tech Racing.
McLaren.
Yep, Tech Racing getting past Connor. So Tech Racing up to 3rd. Alpha, Connor down to 4th. Tech looking to now to catch on Scanny and Vezer, which Scanny may want to pit sooner rather than later, while Vezer may want to hold on as long as possible to get those softs as fresh as possible. So a tale of different world for our top 2 that have not pitted. Same thing with Connor, but definitely should be pitting this time by.
Well, but Vezer right now needs to stretch these tyres, I imagine, until around about lap 16, really. He's going to go another 3 laps. Then set a set of softs, because remember, the other guys, they lost about 12 laps on those sets of softs, so Pavezzi can stretch the mediums another few laps, then he'll have better tyres coming to the end of this race.
King gets 3 seconds for multiple warnings, will not help in the hunt down to catch Tech Racing. 3 seconds for cutting, and Tech now sets the fast race at a 1:28.4, but with how fast I think King was pushing, I feel like he's got a chance to make a fast lap occur. But he's now 4.6, so the undercut did give Tech about 0.5 of a second between like a half a second gain between Tech and King. And we'll have to keep an eye on the gap between Bezer and Tech, because Bezer wants to make that he wants to stay out there as long as possible, because the longer he stays out, the fresher his sauce will be at the end. But on the reverse, if he stays out too long, he'll lose so much time that it'll be very hard to recatch the top 2, even on a set of softs.
Meanwhile, Scanny almost lost in the pit exit right there. I'm not quite sure what on earth really happened there. But
Lesty the Twit, Connor in the grass, trying to give a little bit away to Lesty. Keeps it clean, just lost some time. Almost had a Code Brown moment, but we'll keep it straight, and we'll slide in back in P8. Yellow flag, Sector 1. Someone is around. That is Scanny. Scanny has looped it off that last corner there. So a situation when they got in the power too quickly. They're actually on a set of hards, by the way. But they got in the power too quickly on cold tires, and they are the wrong way around, and that's going to put them in P10.
It's just going absolutely incredible right now in this race. We've got all sorts of drama. Here in Silverstone, Austria rules very much more of the pump in the vein action. Here in Silverstone, it's all about the small but sudden developments. It may be a very spread out field, Pepsi, but boy oh boy, is it's still providing a lot of intriguing stories.
Especially if a safety car does come in. That could make something happen. Yellow flag sector, someone off. I think that is beat by Vegan.
By Vegan. No, it's,
nope, it's
John
Hader. Hader's called Van. That's a safety car, which is something Bezier probably wants to see because now he can pit, get some fresh softs, make him go to 16, and keep his track position. So this is going to help Bezier greatly because he'll come out definitely ahead of King. And with Tech Racing, it may be close because Tech's actually down to 23. Scandy gets a drive-through for speeding.
Yeah, that's a very odd place, by the way, to see a Ferrari go off. I'm not one to say that, but that looks a little bit questionable. Unless, of course, that might have been a wheel or steering wheel issue or controller issue. I'm not too sure.
Could have retired on track as well. You're not supposed to, but could have accidentally made that mistake. I'm not going to pass blanks. I didn't get a good look at it, so I will let the stewards be the judge of that. But if they did do something naughty, Hader should get a big old fine, or, well, metaphorical fine, because I don't think they fine people real money in this game. But you get what I'm trying to say. But Bezier will definitely be pitting this time by. A lot of the rack runners are pitting as well, which will be the very mulligan they seeked. And they could also serve some of their penalties. But this is definitely not what 11 wanted to see because she was on pace for a good points day. And now, with the rest of you getting bunched up, they're going to have to fight for their lives.
Yeah, they all just got lucky, didn't they?
So we'll see here, Tech Racing. We'll see how fast Bezier can get through the pit lane here. We'll have to keep an eye on intervals. He could come out of Tech Racing. Bezier may be the, like I said, the cat that ate the canary and smiling pretty. Has not even made the pit load yet, while Tech is actually coming in as well. So Tech and King are both
come in.
They all want to set us off. So Bezier will take the lead. So he will luck out and will actually gain 2 spots on this track, on actually official track, without the pit stops.
Well, this has taken a spatter into the works, Pepsi, hasn't it?
Yep, Smitty should probably come in as well because he'll definitely serve that 5-second time penalty and get back on the right and narrow path. And they'll probably easily come out in still P4, so maybe, yeah, because actually 11's staying out, so they're actually going to try to hang it, and I think she'll come out P2 on the grid. Maybe. Well, it's going to be close. Never mind, they're both about to hit the X, so P4, my mistake. Let's see, Lesty
also in the pit lane.
Lesty also staying out as well, so Lesty, Connor staying out, Disco Stu coming in, so it looks like another different thing of strategies. So we got the top 3 that have come in on front of a set of softs. 11 has stayed out. Lesty has stayed out. Connor has stayed out. Smitty's next on a set of softs, and he's going to get jumped by Scanny as well. Then you got Smitty, Disco Stu, and Kenobi. Actually, Kenobi's staying out but won't jump anyone. And then you got Demo, Maddie, beat by Vegan. That could either come in or stay out. They're not going to gain or lose much time. So very interesting difference in strategy here. So we got 3 soft runners, then 3 mediums, and for some reason Scanny on a set of hards. Didn't they stay out?
I don't think Scanny had another set of tyres, you know, Pepsi,
actually,
potentially.
I think those are the hards he actually just pitted on a lap ago, but he's also got a drive-through, so he's going to have to pit regardless. So you can throw Scanny out of the equation. Then you got Smitty, so it's Bezier, Tech, King, then 11, Lesty, Connor on mediums are stayed out. Then Scanny's got a drive-through, Smitty, Kenobi. Smitty pitted, Kenobi didn't, Disco Stu did, Demo did, Maddie did, or at the very least they didn't pit, they didn't gain anything, and then beat by Vegan staying out. So very interesting strategy course indeed. We'll have one more lap on a safety car. They'll be going back the racing on lap 17.
Yeah, 10 laps to go after this race, and we've got really Leslie the Trick, Connor, Scanny, Smith on those set of softs. That's really going to be the interesting one where he finish, because he's got an option for 4th here depending on if he can pass these 3 drivers ahead of them. Of course, we know Scanny is to pit in to get rid of that drive-through penalty. So Smith looking for potential 4th, but he's got Disco Stew, also very quick driver behind. This could be very, very spicy, Pepsi in these last couple of stages.
Yep, Dragon. But what's worth noting is King is currently in 3rd with 3 seconds. Had to mock you there a little. I am sorry. 11 has got 6 seconds. Lesty also has 6 seconds. So they all have some time penalties of some sorts. So if Smitty can get close, it's going to be hard for Lesty, 11, and King to get 6 seconds, I think, on Smitty. And then remember, Scanny also has a drive-through, so he's going to go to the tail end of the longest line when he does a pit, and will be like 20 seconds behind. Because he can't serve it under yellow.
Almost day that could have been very awkward for the Alfa Romeo bunch. Well, Scanny almost runs into the back of Connor there, as getting a little bit excited in the rear puppy, are they, to get racing? I think we might just get all these drivers caught to the back of the field. You know, Pepsi is going to be a bit close.
What I'm shocked about is Maddie didn't decide to pit there, because Maddie, I think, could have served that 5 seconds. I don't know. I think he's already pit. No, he can't. I thought it was for something he could serve.
I don't think they could serve under the safety car. They have to serve it in the out of safety car.
I know, but when
that's what usually happens.
True.
But, the game's weird.
Yeah, the game's weird, because I think you can, because I think that's what Smitty did, because Smitty had 5 for speeding, so he can serve it under yellow. So I am shocked that he just didn't try to get rid of that, unless it was for something that cannot be removable. Because cuttings are only in 3s, unless he did a severe cut that I'm not aware of, but I think that may have been...
Unless he got a 2 and a 3?
No, that's not... You can get a 5 for a very blatant cut, so that is possible to get a 5. So, maybe it's just for a cut, but I swear it was for a collision on lap 1, so maybe he had 2 of them, but still shocked he didn't serve it regardless. So we'll be waiting for them to go green this time, I'm assuming we'll see up there, it slashes up right now. The question now is, Bezer has led the safety car under this field floor, so they are something that kind of goes very early, if I remember correctly. So it'll be interesting to see how fast they decide to go here and decide to see if they can catch Tech Racing and King off guard here.
And see, as long as they don't slow the field up very suddenly in these last corners, remember, normally keep it above 50 miles an hour, otherwise you can get yourself caught out in all sorts of driving. We saw that, remember, in Austria, with drivers going really slow and then really quickly.
We'll see. They're still holding it. Probably gonna make him get under power here. We're gonna try to win in the middle of an apex here. Still not going yet. Waiting for that last corner, I guess. Now he's going. Even that corner's pretty flat, so that didn't seem like a smart idea. Looks like it caught
Red Bull off.
Red Bull off.
Lesty in the wall.
Lesty
big
off. Scanny off. Big there. Could not turn the car right. Off in the kitty litter. Gonna have to get it refired. They have a drive-through anyway, so that's not gonna help.
Has Williams off as well. Kenobi in the wall.
Lot to cover here. Kenobi off. Maddie off. No, Maddie's still good. Never mind. It's just Kenobi. Kenobi, I guess, just lost it coming off that last corner there.
Kenobi contact with Disco Stew there, Pepsi. That was what the issue was. He's looped around into the kitty litter as well. Demo up the inside now going for 8th position. And Smitty, who was hoping to try and come through and get some positions here for potential 4th.
Oh, well, Demo's
off.
Yeah, in the sand, in the kitty litter.
Lord.
I think these drivers got a little too complacent while wetting in the back.
And they're not going side by side into Cop's corner. Well, we saw how this went in real life nearly, as they survived that one.
So anyway, back into the battle here for the front. King is on the back of Tech Racing. Safety car has been called. So even though no one's officially retired, that is actually that's not going to help Scanny, because Scanny's got a drive-through and he wanted to serve it. Now he can't serve it, and he's got to run around 3 more laps. So Scanny is probably cursing under that helmet right now. Kenobi's going to get bailed out by this. Leslie Twig also is going to get the pit as well. So if you haven't pitted now's your chance to get a fresh set of rubber and get a slight tire advantage. But we'll see if anyone comes in. Bezer stays out. Tech stays out. They obviously won't come in.
They're all playing.
11.
They're all playing.
11, Leslie, who both stayed out under the first safety car, are coming in now. Obviously, Leslie had damage, and I think 11 just probably wants to pit for fresh rubber to try to carve for the field. Connor stayed out, though, so he's sticking to the guns on his strategy. So the only drivers to stay...
I would have done that, Pepsi. I would have just stuck with that and carried on, because look, when they're going to come out, they're going to come out right down the back of the field. They are going to need some miracles in this race. 11 will be back in the points because Scania, remember, has that drive-through penalty. But they're going to really have to hope that they can clear all these cars really quickly, because remember...
Well, Leslie had damage. Remember, Leslie did have damage, so Leslie had a pit. He was going to have to fix that wing regardless, so he was coming in. 11, I think, was a question mark. Maybe she felt more comfortable on a Fred of Softs. But I think you can make a case that maybe she shouldn't have pitted because Connor stayed out. Connor had no damage, but Connor also has no time penalties. So Connor, remember, has got no time penalties. With Disco Stu has 6, Maddie has 5, Beat by Vegan has 3. So if they can kind of survive for 7 laps, because that's assuming when the safety car will come in on lap 20, so 21, 7 laps, it will be worth noting that if they could survive, they could still get a good finish. So I think it's just a different strategy. If you feel comfortable in your car, pit, get the 2-lap tire advantage, and make this go by faster. But with how much commotion's been in the back couple laps, you could make a case that I'd rather be ahead of the pack and defending than trying to carve my way to the field with how chaotic has been in the back of the field. Because look what happened to Smitty. Smitty, who was in 5th or 6th and lost out big with a collision right around Disco Stu.
This could end still in a very interesting finale. keep your on the edge of your seat because we have still a race to go. One more lap of the safety car, meaning we'll have really 6. No, we're going to have another car in the wall, and that there is a big accident. That is Kenobi, and he has gone very heavily into the wall there.
I think he was just trying
I hope he's okay. He's upside down on my screen.
I can't cut to him, so I'll just have to take your word for it. So, someone will send a screenshot of that, and you can check it out in the Discord, or maybe they'll put it on Twitter for you. But someone will probably have an image of it. But regardless, that is just probably him just trying to catch up, and he lost the back end. So we're down to 12 runners here, and that's not going to help Williams in the construction. Actually, Williams right now is leading the way, but with both second drivers, you could argue, with Kenobi and Scanny both having troubled days, it looks like the points will go between the main points will go between Desert and King, and that is worth noting that Williams may still make out well here in the constructors.
12 drivers left in this race, Pepsi. Right now, we are having a bit of a barnstormer right now. Who is going to score the last point? Because we've got a few drivers in there that could really do it. Kenobi is out of the session. He is thankfully out of the car, to be honest, because that was a horrible accident on my screen.
It will not be, I feel confident, I don't want to be mean to Scanny, but it won't be Scanny because he has a drive-through. And then it's going to be a fight between the two 6-second people, between 11 and Lesty. And since they're even, that's going to be for the last spot, because remember, Demo and Smitty both have no penalties. So even if they fall behind them, they have to gain 6 seconds on both drivers. Now, they may get lucky if Maddie or Beat by Vegan or Disco Stu can fall on their clutches, but then they have to get 3 seconds on both those drivers, or 1 in Maddie's case. So I think the last points-paying spot is going to be a fight between Alessi and 11, and something may have just happened on your screen. Well, I was
Scanny really revving those tires up, right? Let me spun.
Well, Scanny's got nothing to lose. He's got a pit, so he's just probably
to riches.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. He's got 3 laps and just pray to just do something. I think he's low-key hoping for another safety car. So if they keep giving him safety cars, he'll be able to make it and not have to serve that drive-through on track. But they'll give him like a 50.
We'll have to serve on the last lap.
Should they? No, if it's within 3 seconds, 3 laps though, and they can't serve it, then they'll give you like 15 seconds. Safety car in this lap though.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, there won't be another safety car. Presumably, if there is, it won't be enough to affect that. So Scanny will have to serve it.
Scanny needs to come in immediately as soon as the safety car comes in, as they all really get bunched up again right there. It's very, very close right there. I do always get a bit nervous when everyone bunches up because you know how easy it is just to suddenly mistime the braking zone and then bang, it's all Magello all over again.
And since they did ban pausing, that is very sketchy indeed, and that's something that really just bothers me as a driver. Actually, it looks like Bezer's calling off very quickly. Tech was not napping at the wheel, you could say. Not on the back as much as he was, so Tech's going to lose out about a second to Bezier. So Bezier just caught Tech napping and went for it. Just looking in his mirror, saw he's a little bit too far back and went for it, and that's going to help him out dearly. He's in second. King in third. We'll cut through the rest of the field here. Looks like everyone's pretty much spaced out by at least half a second here, so I doubt any major chaos will happen, but I thought those were the case under the last safety car, but that's not happened. Leslie has made a pass on Twix. Scandy's dropping to the back here, and actually kind of blocks off 11 a little bit, kind of clipped the grass there, so Scandy's going to fall down the order here, but probably shouldn't put up too much of a fight, but has no reason not to fight. And 11 will get by, so 11 into 11th, and Leslie in the 10th.
Yeah,
we got a battle for 9th.
Has no traction right there.
Yep. Especially with his hards. Demo makes a pass on Smitty. Demo up to 8th. Smitty to 9th. Cut through the rest of the field here. Everyone else is kind of spaced out here. We got Disco Sue in 5th, trying to maybe get past Connor. Connor trying to hang on for dear life. Connor gonna at least hold through this fast right going into Maggots and Beckett's, but here comes Disco Stu. Will he try a pass going into Maggots and Beckett's? Thinks about it, but probably likes life, so he's just gonna back it down here and hold on and make a pass in a better zone. Safety car again! What for what? Yeah, that's a glitch. Okay, that third one, that is really probably angering Racing King, Connor, and actually, Connor's probably smiling. Bezer's smiling.
Scanny's probably going to cry at this point.
Scanny wants to serve his penalty. Let Scanny serve his penalty. Hashtag let Scanny serve it. I think he may just try to serve it under the yellow right now, just to see what would happen. He's already in last position.
What is it? We'll let you.
It won't, but why not? He's got nothing to lose.
He's going for it.
He's got nothing to lose at this point. He's in 11th.
Will you get rid of it?
We'll see.
Let's find out.
We'll keep an eye on him. Actually, we'll just ride on board with him. Why? We're not covering anything else. We'll see here. Going down the long straight here.
No,
it looks like the pit crew is...
pit crew.
Yeah, they are out.
Come on. Come in it. Come on. I'm going to get you new tyres. We'll send you back anyway. You might get disqualified. Who knows? But This race is going to finish under the safety car at this rate. I don't think it will, but let's see.
Unless it's for the unless they decide to call it for the crash of Kenobi, but maybe the game just
Kenobi.
Yeah, it was under safety car, but maybe something in the game glitched where it's like, oh, Kenobi's crashed under safety car. It was a hard enough lick to trigger a safety car, thus safety car. I don't
think that works.
It doesn't. It's probably not the case, and the game just bugged out for some reason and just called one. Maybe the new updates kind of caused some mistakes here. We'll see if the chat has anything to say about it. Quick check. What's the warnings like? I will give you a quick check here. I will actually pull it up here since you let me know when they're about to be in safety car. But I think we'll have one more lap here. So you can take a look through the grid here. We'll take a look between the top two. Remember, Tech Racing and Bezier we're looking for here. Tech already has one. Take a look here for the rest. Keep an eye on the drivers you like. Lesty's got one there. Disco Stu, Lesty, Excelix, 7, 11, 11. Scanny, Connor, Scannies. Hater. Scanny, Smitty. Kenobi, 11, 11. Hater. Tech has 2 warnings. That is worth noting. King, there's his 3, so we'll see if King gets any more. Scanny, Maddie, Smithy, Kenobi, Demo, beat by Vegan. So King has no warnings right now after his 3 seconds. Tech has 2, and Bezier has none. So Bezier has a clean race right now. So in your top 3, Bezier is clean. And actually, Disco Stu gets a 5-second for a severe collision with Lesty the Twig. Both those drivers are friends off the track, and they're probably not happy with each other right now.
That removed. Normally, 5-second penalties will get removed, Pepsi, due to the fact that's how the game works. So that should be removed. You could have a lot of penalties removed in this race due to safety cars. A very rare one having a safety car that should be in existence. It'll come in, hopefully, List Lab. We'll have a nice run to the end of this race.
Hopefully. It'll come in on lap. We'll have 23, so 23, 25, 1 lap at DRS, and actually 23, 24. Actually, we'll have 2 laps DRS. But unless another safety car is called. It can't end on safety. There will be no safety car after this because it won't call it with 3 to go. So we will have 4 laps to the end. So we're in for a good old NASCAR-style shootout here, boys. 3 laps to go. Have fun on a restart, which is something that we're hoping to see. But yeah, just to reiterate, Bezier has no time penalty, so as long as he keeps it clean, he should be good. Tech has 2, so if Tech has to keep it clean for the next 4-ish laps, or else he could possibly be under pressure to lose the spot to King and Connor. King has 3 seconds, but no warnings after that, so King can afford to make 1 cut or 2, and Connor has none, but I think he has 1 warning or 2, so he's also going to have to keep it clean.
Yeah, we've always got... There's a bit of lag going on, by the way. I saw someone was lagging all over the place nearly there. I'll tell you what, Be My Vegan's got a good shot at getting some points today.
They do too, and sadly 2 drivers went up without points here, and Scanning will be one of them because drive-through. Then after that, it's going to be a fight between Levin and Lesty.
Well, let's never say never, you know, Pepsi. Anyone else could drop out this field. We know how we've seen drivers spin it and drop it. There still could be some late drama in this race. Who knows? Someone could end up running into the back of someone else and lose their front wing. We saw that previously in last week's race at Austria.
100% indeed. Someone in our chat is very happy with a 3-lap shootout here, so they are really excited to see 3 laps here between these top drivers in F2. So safety car should be coming in. 4 laps, I guess, technically is correct, unless safety car doesn't come in this lap, which it does. So Bezier is probably making a case for having the most safety car restarts add to his name here, with already having to do it 2 times with this attempt here. We got the glitch here with the rev-up glitch on a King, which is kind of getting a bit annoying. So we'll have to see here.
Yeah. Engine's going to blow up at this rate.
Yeah. So we'll see here in accordance here. We will have 4 to go here. When will... hopefully Tech does not get caught napping this time like he did last time. Probably wants to stay on the back of Bezier. We'll ride on board with King, because I usually do that under safety cars. So we'll see here. In retrospect, Bezier still holding him, going a lot later this time. And there he goes. So Tech actually stays on the back of him. Gets a little squirrely off exit, though. But a lot better restart this time than it was last time. He'll slide in the second. King in the third. Disco Stu under pressure from Connor. Other way around, let's rephrase. And Disco Stu going to try to make a pass, and will get it done. Connor down to 5th. Disco Stu to 4th. Maddie going to try to make a move possibly on him as well. Scanny's been disqualified for ignoring the drive-thru, which is kind of bull crap because it's not his fault. But anyway... Dino and Smitty fighting for 8th here. Demo under pressure from Smatty. Smitty and Debo fighting. Trying to get a good angle of this here. We're going to ride on board. Nothing happening up front here. Tech is slowly reeling in Bezer, but not enough to make something happen. Big pass up here for Ween. Beat by Vegan and Connor. Connor falling down the grid, trying to find his footing. Going to allow his teammate Demo to get by. Here comes Lesty. Lesty on the outside. Going to try to pass Smitty. Going to slide in position for 9th. Beat by Vegan around.
Beat by Vegan's gone.
And there's the thing you were talking about. Beat by Vegan. Maybe the big loser here because of that mistake. If he can get it refired, he has to get within 3 seconds. Here comes Connor and Smitty. Demo. 2 McLarens fighting. Connor going to get by, and the Red Bull has nowhere to go. And the Red Bull almost runs into the back of Connor. Lesty gonna try something on Demo. Lesty driving like a mad lad. Gonna try to make something happen here. Lesty gonna slide it behind for 7-6. We'll cut back up to the lead here. Top 3 is under a blanket, though, is worth noting, but nothing has happened. This is our big chaos moment right here. Lesty up to 9, but I guess that time penalty, one of those 5s will get removed. So here comes Bezer and Tech, both not side by side yet, but they will probably be side by side when DRS is enabled.
Well, this is turning into a barnstorm finale right now here. As look at the first lap, it's like flying like the flies right now. They're all going for it up front, but right now down the back we've got all kinds of bubbly goodness.
Oh, there goes Beat by Vegan. Very aggressive on the brakes. Gonna try to dive bomb the corner there. Did not expect the move to happen there. Thought about going for it and almost had to bail out of it last second almost, and he's gonna lose out big, and it's actually gonna cause Tech to lose some time too. So Tech is not a big fan of that move happening. Will King try something again as well here? Very close. Could try something. Thinks about it. Gonna try to put his fender in there, but just not enough on the corner. We'll have to slide him behind. We got a situation with 2 to go. What's worth noting as well is Connor is I know I shouldn't be focused on the back here, but I just want to say one thing. Connor, the big loser, was in 4th under the safety car restart. Now down to 9th. Big loser indeed. But we'll at least try to salvage a point here. Tech going to try to make something happen at Bezier. Going through Maggots and Beckett's. Going 1, 2, 3.
These 3 drivers really going at it right now. Tech, TTM, Bevezia, top 3 all together right now. Who knows who's going to win this race? It's just stick a go anyway. We know, to be fair, it's most likely between Bevezia and Tech. Of course, those are the real chances in this race of winning here in Silverstone. It is going to be, I believe, potentially a very hard-fought battle. Never say never. TKM King still could win this race. Who knows what happens if these two end up hitting each other and going off.
Tech is 1 warning away from 3 seconds. We could easily get 2nd place if Tech gets 1 cut, but Bezier is clean. So unless Bezier gets 3 warnings in the next 2 laps, it's highly unlikely that it will happen unless they collide. We'll look at the back. Oh, Tech's gonna have DRS here. Could easily try to make a case happen here. The Red Bull driver looking for his first win. Same thing with Bezier. They're both looking for the first win in this league.
And indeed, notice down the back, 11's got damage. By the way, front and right emblem.
Oh, big battle here in the back. I think something happened here in the back. Yeah, there's the Haas of Maddie. Maddie's clipped the wall to the P0 sign and is trying to back it up on track. They're down to 11 and have a broken wing and 5 seconds. So Beat by Vegan may have been saved by that mistake happening. And we'll at least get a point. So now the big loser here is Maddie. So back up to the battle. They're the Jensen Button of 2015 Australia. Tech Racer going to try to make a possible move here. Maggots and Packets will have DRS off the hanger straight as soon as the end of this. Try to get as much time as possible. But here comes King as well. They're all there. Leslie Twig is on the back of Demo, but with 9 seconds, it's highly unlikely he'll be able to clear him and get the spot back. So we'll see here on retrospect. Here they come down the long straight. As you can see by the blinking light, it looks like Tech has used all his ERS while they're all pretty much almost out of ERS here.
He's going to have to go left. He's going to have to go left. I don't see the right. He's not going to present himself. He's going to have to go the long way around the outside. Late braking from the Alpha.
Gonna hang it.
Side by side. Round the outside. Down into the last couple of corners. Down the inside he goes. Let's see. Can he get on the exit? The camera angle not really going to say who's got it. He has.
Got it. So it's worth noting that right now that's what I guess Bezier wants to see, because now it's put a big gap between him and King on the final lap of the race. King trying to reel him in. He's got no ERS left. Tech has 5, and Bezier has 17. So Bezier has the better ERS situation. Beat by Vegan has passed 11 for 9th. So now 11 is currently in 10th, but with Maddie 31 seconds off the pace, that top 10 is pretty much set in stone.
I've never say never, Pepsi, but let's not jinx it.
I've said it twice already and something's happened, so probably you never know. Fair point.
So we'll see. On course, he's low on fuel, he's low on percentage on everything, but he is leading here in Silverstone. Well, they're all low on fuel, to be fair. Who knows who's going to finish this race, but Bevezia on course. 1 podium of a second last week, could have won that. On course for a victory here in Silverstone here. The klaxons are going wild here around Silverstone. One
Oh,
more
Disco
DRS
Stu
is
gets
going to
3.
be presenting itself.
He'll have DRS, but ERS advantage is in Bezier's camp. But here comes King. King, I think, is a little bit of a fast line car here. It won't matter with 3 seconds, though, so we'll see what happens here. Bezier, King is going to make the pass on the track. Will Bezier have a move on the answer with the reverse here? Going to try to hang it around the outside. Who's the later breaker? It's going to be King. King going to hold the spot. He's going to take the apex here, and nowhere to go for Bezier. King will cross the line in first position, but Bezier will win the race on track because of time penalties. Tech will finish second. King will be third, and then because of like the 5 seconds getting removed, this could all change. But Disco Stu right now is provisional P4, Lesty 5th, Demo actually jumps up to 4th, Disco's 5th, Smitty 6th, Lesty 7th, Connor 6th, Smitty 7th, Lesty 8th, I think will hold 8th. Beat by Vegan 9th, and 11th will come home in 10th position, and they will get
Which we are confident Pepsi will actually get points this time.
And since Maddie's the wrong way around about to put a lap down, that will be the points for the top 10. Confident. And Mercedes will get their first points-paying finish here today. The only difference is where will they be on track, depending on how 5 seconds may or may not get removed. But what's worth noting is that is your top 10. Maddie ends up finishing 11th. I think we just now just got to wait for Maddie to finish here. Probably should just retire because he's the last one on track. But then again, he won't get points if he doesn't finish, but he's already got no points regardless, so maybe just finish regardless just in case someone gets disqualified.
Let's see, but he's a lap down though now, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but remember, they already finished, so he's still got to finish his last lap. So we're just going to have to wait.
Everyone's celebrating right now, and here this could be that. In real life, this would probably be code dangerous. But Bevezia wins here in Silverstone. He finished second last week, a victory this week. What could be potential for the rest of this championship? Pepsi Bevezia really taking over.
There's only 8 rounds left, though, so it's actually now 7, so it's going to be a hard fight. But with only the gap being about 70 points, 2 win and 25 and an 18, that's going to put him on 30. So he's about 70 points, 60 points, because remember, we got taking King's 15 here today, so he's probably about 60 points behind, give or take. So he can still reel his way in, but he's going to need a lot of luck or a lot of wins, or both. But Williams may have been able to save their Constructors' Championships hopes here with Charlie going from Charlie to Bezia. Now Williams is looking strong to at least keep their Constructors' hopes alive as King gets the driver of the day, going from 16th to 3rd on the grid, which I think is well-deserved.
Oh, most certainly.
But the Frenchman wins on the British soil, much to the chagrin of the British drivers. Actually, I think King is British. So I'll take a quick look when we get to the end of the screen, but I think we almost had a chance that not one actually he is British, yeah. So a Frenchman, a Scottish, and a British end up in your top 3. So UK faithful, if this was Italy, they may have tried to burn down the place if an Italy driver or an Italy car didn't finish in the top 3. But I think the British are a little bit more mild about their drivers not having much success.
Well, unless his name begins with Lewis and ends in Hamilton, no. Well, then again, we've got very famous British drivers. We've got David Coulthard. He was British, to be fair. The Scotsman, who did win Silverstone a few times back in the old days, of course. But nonetheless, Pepsi, I'll let you finish it off.
All right, well, I'll just let you go for the results here again. Bezier gets driver of the day. Not driver of the day. He wins the race. I thought he didn't get driver of the day. Tech gets second. King gets third. Then after this, the rest of it's kind of mumbled with time penalties and such. But we know that top 10 will all get points. So everyone in the top 10 will end up getting points here today. But where they will finish is still kind of up in the air with how 5 seconds may or may not get removed. Because Disco Stu probably will get a 5 removed, which may put him a little bit higher up the grid. Could possibly get ahead of Demo, depending. But there's your top 10. And you can look at the screen, and then you can look for the rest here, 11th through 16th. And Scanny finishes last, getting disqualified because of a drive-through that was not served. So, yep, now waiting for the screen to end here. But other than that, I will ask you real fast, Evil, who was your driver of the day here?
I've got to say, I've got to give it to TKM. He did an absolutely beautiful job last to what really possibly could have been first had he not got that penalty. But beautiful drive throughout nonetheless. And anything can happen here as you come into the next portion of the season.
Yep, that is true indeed. Personally, if I had to give driver of the day, I want to say Bezier because he got his first win, but I'll give it partially to King, just because King was able to go from 16th and having a quality ban and get the car all the way up to 3rd, and would have won the race if not for the time penalty. So King was driving like a bad lad, and is proving why he's leading the championship here this evening, or still leading the championship. But as we look on next week, March 29th at 8 p.m. UK, will be the Hungary GP, which is a very favorite circuit of mine in-game. So we'll be quite interested to see how the drivers handle a circuit from a very fast past couple weeks to a very hard-to-pass, technical, left-right cornering circuit. But until that day, unless you got something you want to say about Hungary real fast, Evil?
Oh, well, we could see some interesting stuff. You know what it says? The Monaco without the walls as close as Monaco. And, of course, there's the first race behind the Iron Curtain. Now, I'll let you finish off, Pepsi.
Yep, the Iron Curtain indeed. The USSR is back, but we are going to have our little USSR tour eventually. But regardless, hopefully you join us next week for the Hungary GP at 8 p.m. GMT, which would be, I think, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, that is Evil. I am Pepsi Freak 212, and we are signing off. Thank you, and good night.